What's Superman gotta do with being Jewish? Actually, more than you might think. From Aish, I'm Sarah, and this is Jew Know It. Today we're talking about superheroes. Feeling super yourself? Why don't you hit that subscribe button? Did you know that the brains behind some of the most popular superheroes ever are Jewish? And that they were infusing their stories with bits of their own lives, dreams, hopes, and yes, even their struggles and traumas. Let's flash back to the late 1930s, a time when the world was basically the setting of a dystopian graphic novel. The Great Depression was in the air and fascism was the rising villain in Europe. Enter our heroes, Jewish writers and artists. Picture them, the kids of immigrants who'd escaped the clutches of anti-Semitism, now wielding pencils and inks as their weapons of choice. Comics became their battleground, a place to sketch out hope, justice, and a solid pow to the bad guys. So who were these masterminds? Let's get into it. First up, let's talk about the OG superhero dream team, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. Jerry and Joe not only created the most famous superhero ever, Superman, but set off the entire superhero genre faster than a speeding bullet. See what I did there? Speeding bullet? No. Okay, here's the thing though. Superman wasn't just a dude in tights with a cape. Jerry and Joe infused him with hope, compassion, and justice during a time when Jews weren't getting any of that. Next up, enter Jacob Kurtzberg and Stanley Martin Lieber, who would later be known as Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. Ever heard of the Fantastic Four, X-Men, the Hulk, Thor, and Iron Man? These guys created them. And what's cool about these heroes is that they weren't just about smashing bad guys or flying around in spandex.
Hey, Jim! Oh, excuse me. That's a bad outfit.
They were deep, rich metaphors for the outsider, the misunderstood, the ones fighting for their place in the world. Essentially, the diary of the American Jewish experience. There's also Will Eisner, who created the spirit and invented the term graphic novel, turning comic strips into an art form that could tell deep, meaningful stories, setting the stage for the Dark Knight years later. We also can't forget about pioneers like Joe Simon, who along with Jack Kirby created Captain America. And what was Captain America doing on his first ever cover? Punching Hitler. While many early comic heavyweights were Jewish, many of their creations couldn't explicitly be Jewish for fear of turning off non-Jewish audiences. But that eventually changed. There's The Thing, aka Ben Grimm from the Fantastic Four, a rock-solid dude with a heart of gold who was revealed to be Jewish in a scene depicting his bar mitzvah. There's Moon Knight, aka Mark Spector, who's like if you mixed Jewish guilt and added a dash of multiple identities. He's a complicated guy, but aren't all great men? Speaking of great men, let's talk about a few great women. There's Kitty Pryde from the X-Men. When she's not phasing through walls, she likes to show off her Star of David and throw down a little Yiddish. There's Scarlet Witch, aka Wanda Maximoff, who in the original Marvel comics is introduced as a Jewish Romani woman. There's Harley Quinn, who reps BK and in one of her first comic book appearances is seen celebrating Hanukkah. We also can't forget the legendary Jewish supervillain Magneto, born Max Eisenhardt to a middle-class German Jewish family and who survived the Holocaust, leading him to fight for mutant dominance out of fear of another genocide. All of this is to say that the next time you're reading a comic or watching something from Marvel or DC, remember, you're witnessing a legacy of Jewish creativity and resilience. I'm Sarah, and from Aish, this has been Jew Know It, a series where we tackle questions big and small about Judaism, even the ones you're too afraid to ask. Hit that like and subscribe button to follow along, and drop a comment with what topics you want us to cover next. And if you love what we're doing and would like to see more videos like this, consider making a donation through the link in the description. Bye!